Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Spice's condition still unknown following reports of medical emergency. There is still uncertainty surrounding the health of dancehall DJ Spice, following unconfirmed report that the Grammy-nominated artist suffered a medical emergency. Her booking agent, Ray Alexander, denied rumors that she is in a coma after suffering complications from cosmetic surgery in the Dominican Republic. Popular cosmetic surgery company, Designer Bodies, have distanced itself from the reports whilst wishing Spice a speedy recovery. The company has also threatened legal action against entities that have linked it to the reports. Friends and peers of Spice, including MP Lisa Hanna, DJ Pompute and disc jockey Nikki Z, have shared photos in support of the DJ. Security forces monitoring Rockford amid wave of deadly attacks. The security forces are keeping a close watch on sections of Rockford in East Kingston, following a wave of deadly attacks, which have left 3 people dead and several others nursing gunshot wounds. 2 men were killed during a gun attack in Pleasant Heights on Wednesday morning. Another man was shot and injured in a reprisal shooting in the community. Investigators told reporters that the shootings are gang-related. In another attack Wednesday night, 4 persons were shot, 1 fatally, along Seabreeze Avenue in Rockford. The police have not yet released details on the victims. Patterson charged with offences not related to Sikiana's death, ACP Chambers stated. Rushing Patterson, the man who was named as a person of interest in a police probe into the death of a popular social media personality, Anika Sikiana Thousand, was charged with unrelated offences stemming from other cases. The number of cases and full details surrounding those cases are not available at this time. He has been formally charged for some offences unrelated to the main one under investigation now, stated Police Area 1 Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Clifford Chambers. The offences from previous cases include abduction and abduction with intent to rob. ACP Chambers said ongoing investigations have led to deferment in formal charges being placed against Patterson in relation to Thousand's case. Investigators are still unboxing new evidence, which is the reason why he has not yet been formally charged in regards to that offense, explained ACP Chambers. Patterson, who is also known as Chizzy and is from Prospect District in Hanover, was named as a person of interest on October 22nd after the body of a 35-year-old was fished from the sea in Reading, St. James a day earlier. She was later positively identified by family members. The businesswoman lived on Waterloo Road in St. Andrew. Experts say absent fathers and toxic masculinity are negatively impacting parenting in Jamaica. Chairman of the Uniform Youth Group, Lieutenant Colonel Oral Kong, has cited the absence of fathers or a strong male figure as a well-toxic masculinity trait as some of the issues affecting parenting in Jamaica. He made the comment while speaking at a launch ceremony for the National Parent Month, which is being observed in November under the theme, Reignite the Village. He pointed to the findings of a recent survey on parenting in the country.
The situation in our communities, in our villages, is not uniform across Jamaica. One of the characteristics that is impacting the situation quite adversely is the absence of the father figure, the male, the responsible male, and the image of masculinity that we have predominantly in a lot of these communities. And that factor is impacting how parenting is done. Fathers parent differently from mothers, and that missing role of the father parenting the children in our communities is having an adverse effect. The boys don't have the example of a strong father there to help to correct and point and to instruct on what true manhood, true masculinity ought to be about. And where some men try, I think a lot of times they're made to feel a bit inadequate in the role that they play by how they are treated or remarks which may be made by the women in their lives in the community. And so a lot of them tend to feel inadequate and back away from doing the little that they could do or can do. I'm highlighting that as a problem that we're facing in the village, in the yard, in the community. And the example that is played out quite often is what we describe as the toxic type of masculinity. And this is what our boys are being exposed to. And that is not helping their own development to be responsible males and fathers in due course.
Security guards urged to be patient in light of recent court ruling. Security guards island-wide are being urged to be patient as negotiations continue with stakeholders in the private security industry in the wake of a recent court ruling which stipulated that guards are employees, not contract workers. The Jamaica Society for Industrial Security (JSIS) issued a statement on Thursday updating the public on the matter. President George Overton pointed out that the society have been in dialogue with the government ministers and agencies as it relates to the timely implementation of the court mandate. He said in a bid to ensure that the transition does not result in unnecessary hardship for guards or further negative impact on all parties involved, negotiations need to take place with clients who use security services. This, as a reclassification, will require substantial funding, which was not contemplated in the current rates being charged. He said, bearing that in mind, some patience is required to allow time needed to reorganize the structure of various security companies to comply with the ruling. Mr. Overton said this will result in a smoother transition for the guards, client security companies, and government. He noted reports on social media that guards are planning to go on strike next Monday, November 7, 2022, and urged them to reconsider as such action may sour the negotiations.
We are in discussion with the government to try and have a smooth transition to compliance. As you may be well aware, that it's going to take a lot of client negotiations because it is the increase in rates that will afford us the ability to pay the guards. We have been in discussion, and what we are trying to get from or get consensus on is the effective date of full compliance, and that's the discussions that are going on right now. The companies have been communicating individually with their guard forces that this is the situation, but of course, there is anxiety, and some of the anxiety is being stirred from outside as well. Well, again, it's a matter of how you communicate with the guards, how you get them to understand that at this stage, we already have the clients in distress with what the rates are going to have to be. To go and add insult to injury now by withdrawing service certainly can only do damage, can't do any good at all.
Concerns mount in business community with continued congestion at ports. There is increased concern about some business persons that Christmas sales will be impacted by continued congestion at the ports. The Jamaica Chamber of Commerce in September called attention to the port congestion issues, saying its members in the import community were experiencing delays in the arrival and clearing of raw material and finished goods. At the same time, the JCC said some cargo ships were being held offshore for lengthy periods for being able to offload their containers, and that some vessels have opted to go to other ports to upload their Jamaica-bound cargo, relying on feeder ships to move the cargo back to Jamaica. This resulted in clearance time moving from 6 to 12 or more days. In giving an update on the situation, Jamaica Chamber of Commerce President Ian Nita says things are the same. Reports to reporters are that in one instance, a shipment from Panama that arrived on October 7 was expected to be cleared on Thursday, November 3rd. Further reports are that the ships in Panama are opting not to load for Jamaica because the ports here are congested. The ships are experiencing a 3 to 4 week wait prior to offloading. Meantime, reports are that there is an increase in the number of containers at the wharf. They are not being cleared. This is expected to impact Christmas supplies, as for most companies, the Christmas sale period commences in November. Mr. Nita is urging persons whose goods have been cleared to remove them from the ports.
In speaking with our members, the feedback is that the problems that we highlighted in our release some 6 weeks ago remain. Importers are still unable to get their goods cleared off the wharf. And this is creating a problem and is putting their sales for the Christmas period in jeopardy. We have spoken to the operators, and one of the measures that they had hoped to implement, that is the segregation of the goods coming out of Asia, has fallen through. They've not been able to implement that. And so there is still significant delays in clearing containers. But the main concern that the operators have at this time is the goods that have been cleared and are sitting on the wharves by importers are not being cleared by the importers. They're not coming to collect their goods in a timely fashion. And this is preventing them from freeing up much needed space that they require to maneuver on the wharf. Once again, we're making an appeal for importers who have goods on the wharf to clear them in a timely manner. And we continue to work with our members and continue to work with the operators and all the other agencies to see if we can get a significant ease in this congestion situation at the ports.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification